Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my first impressions look on the Nike Kyrie Flytrap 6. So this shoe is going for $95, and if you guys do want to cop, I try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. Of course, this is Kyrie's budget shoe line, and the Flytraps, it started off really good. I really like the Kyrie Flytrap 1, 2, and I believe the 3, but then after that it's been alright. You know, it hasn't been amazing. So this is the new version, and of course in their budget shoes, Nike usually gives us the same exact outsole and midsole for 2 years, and then they switch it up, right? So this is pretty much the new version of the Flytrap. The 4 and the 5 had the same exact outsole and midsole, so they changed it up here in the 6. So again, links will be in the description box, but let's get it started off with the tracciones, and the traction looks pretty cool. Here in the forefoot we have a variety of shapes, and here in the heel we have Kyrie Irving's logo as well, and then here in the forefoot also we have like a black rubber too, and it kind of extends all the way here into the midsole too. So the traction on my floor seems alright so far. It's not amazing or anything like that, and also there's not a whole lot of squeak, just a tiny bit. Hopefully that all breaks in, but we have yet to see on that. And also of course we have yet to see on the performance on dust. And also there's not really an outsole curvature. Look at that, it's a very flat shape, unfortunately. Remember in the Kyrie Flytrap, I believe it was like the 2 or the 3, there was a crazy curved shape, which of course personally for me I really like. It definitely does suck that they started to make it like super flat. Actually it's a very interesting shape. It kind of caves in a little bit, right? And then I guess it's a good thing that they did keep the rubber extending up here into the medial side, so you can get better grip when you're doing these types of movements, but there's really no rounded shape or outsole curvature. So the traction seems not so good, but hopefully it does get better once I do break it in. The Kyrie Flytrap 5 was actually pretty damn nice, but it wasn't the best on dusty courts, right? Alright, moving on to the heel to toe transition, it feels pretty smooth, right? So here in the heel we have a nice curved shape and a fully exposed midsole, but this midsole is pretty damn hard and stiff, so it reminds you a lot of like the Kyrie 2 and 3, like the old school Kyries with not so good cushion, especially here in the heel, right? Then here in the forefoot though, we have a really nice curve shape. Look at this crazy rocking motion, which I like. And also it's a really stiff sole, right? There's just a tiny bit of flex here in the forefoot. I'm actually putting a lot of force here into it, and it's barely moving, right? And also it doesn't move at all here in the midfoot, so I guess torsion support will be good. So overall heel to toe transition feels pretty good, right? Alright, moving on to the cushioning setup. So the cushioning setup is really bad. So here in the Kyrie Flytrap 5, I kind of liked it because the forefoot zoom unit was, you can feel it a little bit, right? There's a nice little bit of compression, nice little bit of bounce, of course, nothing crazy. But here in the 6, you can't really feel the zoom unit, right? And there is a zoom unit here in the forefoot. It says air zoom right here, right? And also here in the heel, like I mentioned before, there's very little compression. It's super stiff. So I guess it's good that it'll be probably responsive. But if you want any type of anything from your cushion, I don't really feel anything, right? The zoom unit, not so much. The heel, there's really no compression either. Also, the core feel seems worse than the 5, right? So I put on both of these shoes at the same time, and the 5 seems lower to the ground just a little bit. I mean, the Kyrie Flytrap 6, I'm actually pretty surprised. It doesn't feel super low to the ground. So the cushioning setup doesn't feel amazing, just because, you know, if it's a responsive cushioning setup, I usually like to have court feel with that, you know what I mean? But it doesn't feel amazing for court feel, and also the cushion feels very lackluster right now. So that definitely is a pretty big disappointment. Alright, moving on to the materials. I feel like it's an improvement from the 5. The 5 was really cheap and crappy with this mesh material, with all this fuse, very cheap feeling, right? So for the 6, they use like a mesh material, like a textile mesh. The fuse that they're using here in the toe box feels super cheap, but this would be good for, like, you know, durability if you do toe drags. And then also for the lateral and medial side, we have like this mesh material as well. And then for the tongue, we have a very minimal amount of padding, and it's also a half booty construction tongue. And then there is this black part right here, and you would think it would do something. I thought, you know, it was maybe like a nice system for better lockdown or something like that, but it's just a different colored mesh right here. And then here in the ankle area, we have very minimal padding as well. So the overall material feels really minimal, but also pretty pretty supportive. It doesn't really stretch at all either. Alright, moving on to the fit, I went up half a size and it fits me really well. I feel like if I went true to size, it would be super snug here, so I would suggest going up half a size for most people because my toes go pretty much right to the edge of the shoe, right? Also for the toe space, it's pretty snug, so I do like that. And also for the width, it's actually pretty damn narrow, so yeah, I would suggest going up half a size for most people. And if you have a wide foot or you want a roomier fit, probably go up full size. Alright, moving on to the support and lockdown, I feel like it's gonna be good. You know, I mean, it's a Kyrie. And here in the forefoot, there's really not much going on as far as like a lateral counter goes. I guess the midsole comes up a little bit. This rubber part comes up just a tiny bit, but this part right here, right, this mesh material feels a little glued down. It's actually pretty stiff, so that'll definitely help for lateral containment. I mean, this material for the most part is actually pretty rigid, right? So that's definitely a good thing for support. Then here in the heel, we have an internal TPU heel counter, and I guess like the foam coming up a little bit. So lateral containment feels like it's gonna be good. And for lateral stability, I mean, it's not super wide, it's not a crazy outrigger. It does protrude out a little bit as far as the foam goes, so lateral stability feels like it's going to be good too. And it is a mid-cut shoe, but I still have pretty good ankle mobility, so I don't think ankle support is going to be good, right? Alright, moving on to the weight of the shoe. This shoe actually feels pretty damn light. I mean, it's a budget shoe, and budget shoes usually lack tech. And if a shoe lacks tech, it's usually lighter, so I'm guessing like 12 something ounces, 11.78 ounces. Let's check the other pair. 12.31 ounces? What? Wait, what? Whoa. 12.31 ounces versus 11.78. So basically like 11.8 ounces. Wait, let's double check again. 12, dude, that's crazy. That's a lot of weight difference. That's like half an ounce. Wow. That's pretty bad quality management, honestly. That's a very big weight difference, you know. Usually like 0.2 0.3 ounces is like the max that I would like be okay with, but 0.5 ounces is a lot. Let's check the 5. The 5 is actually really light, 10.55 ounces. So yeah, that's what I noticed. You know, the 6 actually feels a lot heavier than the 5, but it's still not heavy. It's like average weight, a little bit lighter than average actually. So feels pretty nice on foot. It feels minimal. I feel like this foam probably adds a good amount of weight. I feel like they're using like a different kind of foam. You know, the 5 is actually like, it's not terrible. There's a little bit of compression here. So anyways, there's the weight there. Moving on to the aesthetics, I really like it. You know, it actually, this part, I feel like it takes inspiration from the Kyrie 8, not the Kyrie Infinity, the Kyrie 8, the new shoe that's supposed to come out. And it looks pretty good. You know, I do like the swoosh placement, and overall this is a pretty interesting design as well as far as the laces go. I mean, the laces go all the way here into like the top of the toe box, which is interesting. It doesn't really, I don't really think it helps a whole lot with lockdown, but it's a very interesting design. And also I really like the stitching here. The stitching that kind of stays here on the bottom of the shoe and then comes up a little bit here in the heel. And this kind of reminds me of the Kyrie 1. Remember the Kyrie 1 heel cup? You know, that design, you know, it looks kind of familiar. So I really like the aesthetics. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, the 6 isn't looking too good. The cushion feels really bad. Also, the core feel not being really good is a bummer to me, and also the traction is not feeling amazing either. But of course, we have yet to see if it'll get better once I break it in. So honestly, the Kyrie Flytrap 6 isn't feeling amazing right now, sadly, because I really like the Kyrie Flytrap 1. Remember that one? That shoe was really nice. But anyways, again, if you guys do want to call, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.